Hey everybody, I hope everybody is doing good. Ray McKenna here. Just wanted to speak to you today on supplementation. I have got two master degrees in nutrition and exercise science, which is strength and conditioning, and also an accredited sports nutritionist who's been in the fitness industry for over 17 years and still working and still bringing great research to you today. And I wanted to break down, number one, I wanted to break down add you some value today on ashwagandha and who should take ashwagandha and what to consider before we look at these claims. Because that's one of the most important things. I'm just going to try to set up myself a little bit correctly. This is good. So, yeah. So, first off, before I always look into supplements, okay, you need to ask yourself first, like, are you consuming enough proteins, macronutrients? Are you improving? Are you taking in sufficient amount of micronutrients before you think supplementation? Because the supplement industry has become a multi-million-dollar industry, billion-dollar industry right now, and anything can get out into research, guys, right away. Like anything these days can get out into research without even being peer reviewed. So you got to be very, very careful what you're putting into your body, because I also have a certification for like the anti-doping with athletes. So one of my responsibilities is that I have to make sure that I'm taking that that like when I'm working with like boxers and football players and anyone in general, that I actually know what I'm actually recommending to them people. So I'm able to read that off, because before I always go through a field first approach. And what a field first approach really is like looking into what you're consuming on a day-to-day basis. Like, is there other stress management techniques that you could use before using ashwagandha for stress management or anxiety? Makes sense for, because like let's say a person is doing like chronic training exercise and chronic cardiovascular work and consuming very, very low calorie diets all the time and being deficient in protein and being deficient in probably carbohydrates and being deficient in certain micronutrients, certain vitamins and minerals, and probably having a lot of stress and not actually recovering and not doing the basics of hydration on a day-to-day basis, not doing the fundamentals of mastering their sleep on a day-to-day basis. And then we look into all these supplements and we keep taking more and more supplements and we believe that that's the answer. All right. So I'd really look into that first. So I want to dive right into this if we haven't got much time. Ashwagandha has been is like it's a root that comes from like Africa and Asia, and it has been shown some great positives in the research for like for lowering anxiety and reducing stress and helping a little bit with sleep. Now, I'm not speaking in absolutes, because like it may do these things, but also remember the fundamentals are very, very important of stress management, sleep, good energy balance, good hydration levels, good controlled exercise over a week to week basis, daily activity on a day to day basis. They're going to be important, right? But it has been shown many a times to help decrease perceptions of fatigue, because like a lot of decisions we make are placebo. Makes sense. Like a lot of them are like not correct. Like there is a power in placebo, and that's why when you see even in these studies to use randomized control trials, which you're able to actually control the participants, and one set of the participants was a placebo, the other set of the participants were actually consumed 225 milligrams, or I think it's milligrams of ashwagandha and 225 milligrams of a placebo effect, because there is a power in placebo and our beliefs can dictate so much different stuff. For an example, let's say you are probably deficient in sleep some days, you're probably deficient in energy on a day-to-day basis, and all of a sudden you're mentally believing that you can't exercise in the gym. You're mentally believing that you are probably not losing weight or something. But the mental aspect of things can really be powerful. Makes sense? So that's why what they done inside of this, they actually measured for perceptions of fatigue and tension. Perceptions of it. And perceptions of tension is, do you ever notice the way sometimes you might be exercising or something in the gym and you may have a past history and you might feel a little bit of a pain in an area, and you see a lot of clients I've ever worked with, you probably feel a little bit of pain in their leg or something, then they're like, oh, psychologically they're thinking injury. A lot of that can be like placebo. A lot of that can be perception. Makes sense? A lot of that can be mental when it's probably not even happening, when you understand that, right, in order for me to be able to grow muscle tissue, I need an inflammatory response. And that's where ashwagandha has been shown to like support acute inflammation, because inflammation is also beneficial to them. So what they done was they were able to put the placebo group and a non-placebo group, and they done like a 60 minutes. After that, they done a 60 minutes of like cognitive assessments and sent the people for 30 days and being able to see, like, giving them the recommended dose of 225 milligrams per day of ashwagandha. Came back after 30 days and seeing improvements in memory, attention, vigilance, and also helped with like increased choice reaction time. And what happens is the reaction time of decisions was a little bit more effective. But like this was quite good in the group that actually had the ashwagandha. Now, and then also what I spoke about, that they had decrease in perceptions of fatigue and tension also in the groups. You're probably looking into going out and spending your bank book on ashwagandha and going out and buying this right away. So first off, do I believe ashwagandha can help with stress and anxiety and cognitive function and mood based on my own experience? Yes, I would, because I've tried it for myself and it definitely helps support mood, and I've seen it inside of working with clients. That's number one. And there is good evidence to show that, right? So you're probably looking into like, right, I'm going to go get this supplement. But if you are going to get that supplement, what I'd first recommend is looking into not spending excessive amounts of money on this supplementation, because I'd really recommend that you do these three things I'm going to share with you right now before you look into that. First off, get a consistent sleep schedule. If you need help with a sleep schedule, let me know and I'll do my best to give you support for a sleep schedule and see where you're at. Start looking into like the times that you're going to bed, what you're eating before bed, because your circadian rhythms regulates stress throughout a 24-hour period, all right? So that's one thing that we can look into. The second thing we got to look into, are we getting sufficient protein, carbohydrates, and dietary fat, and probably some portions of fruits and vegetables throughout our day? That's another what we need to look into. That's the second thing. Are we in a good energy balance state? And of course, don't be listening to anybody telling you that calories or energy doesn't matter. Of course it does. It's what regulates parasympathetic activity, okay? Our gut microbiome is connected to our brain, guys, okay? And when we have, like, the gut microbiome is regulated and dictated a lot by energy balance and energy intake. I'm a gut expert. I've wrote theses on guts, microbiomes, and how it relates to environment, stuff like that. But I'm also a qualified supplementation advisor. So the third thing that I'd look into is like, are you recovering from your exercise training program and actually making results? Like, have you got it scheduled out over a week where it's actually making you feel better, not feeling worse? Like, when you're exercising, you should feel good from it. We should be getting the cognitive benefits, the memory benefits, the energy every single day to run around and to be able to be physically capable and have the stamina for life. Make sense? And then we can look into like, right, let's look into ashwagandha. May help support me lowering a little bit of anxiety in the evening, but may not work if we're still on our phone. Makes sense? If we're still on the phone all night, or if we're getting up and watching horror movies before bed. This is all being shown to inhibit and affect sleep. we're watching, because like what you put into your brain before bed can actually go into your subconscious and unconscious mind. And then when you're going to sleep, you're probably noticing these things and noticing it in your dreams and waking up with anxiety. So we'd look into all these self-care and good sleep hygiene first, right? So then now you have that, right? So that's what we're looking into first. Sorry, my legs. So now we understand the good sleep hygiene. We understand everything else. We're looking into that. So let's look into what else we could do. So we understand that. We then are like in our workouts, we're actually probably like getting results with what we're doing. We're improving probably our VO2 max. We're improving our cardiovascular system. We're improving our capacity to train. We're improving our flexibility. Make sense? So just looking into all them number one first, and then you could kind of look at like, right, I'm gonna add this as a supplement, because remember it's a supplement and it should supplement a good nutrition plan, a good training plan, a good lifestyle and stuff like that. But like just really, really looking into this. I'm gonna let you go. Thanks a lot everybody for watching. Anybody that has any other ideas, any questions, any research you'd like broke down, any videos you could recommend that you'd like to hear, anything whatsoever, I'd love to hear it in the comments area, what your experience was with ashwagandha, what you're working on yourself in your own fitness. Is there any way that we could collaborate, chat, get to know each other a little bit more? Let me know any support that you need. Thanks very much, and I hope this added value. Speak soon.